This is the Transformers Studio Series from the movie Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Megatron, or D16 or whatever. He's Megatron, I suppose, at this point. Fantastic box art. And yeah, I mentioned, during my show with the TFG1 show with Fly Guy that I wasn't interested in this figure. I did not pre-order this figure, but I was actually shocked to find him already on retail here in Manila. I picked up this figure from my local Toy Kingdom store for a very, very low price of $26. I say that it's low because Deluxes go for $34 here in Manila. Legacy, Generations, those Deluxes go for $34. But apparently Studio Series are much cheaper in Manila. The distributor does not know how to price their figures. I'm not complaining. 26 bucks for a Deluxe. Relatively okay, about the same price range as in the US. The box is actually pretty sturdy on this one. And from the looks of things, at least in packaging, the figure's not too bad. I might have prejudged this figure way too quickly, but I'll save my final thoughts at the end of the video. Let's get this bad boy out of the packaging. For this review, we will also be featuring the Transformers Generation Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Optimus Prime. Now, I've already done a review of this figure. If you haven't seen it, then this video is perfect for you because we're doing a 2-for-1 review. So let us unbox this Optimus Prime and see if we got everything intact. Okay, instruction sheets, box there, and where's the weapon? Oh, okay, here's the weapons. You got the, it's the exact same insert as what's in Megatron, so no big deal. All right, he's looking good. I picked up this figure from Shopee. Forgot the seller's name, but he's from Malaysia. Okay, so let's see if he's got... Look at this figure. I suppose the matrix goes in there. There is... I am detecting an imperfection on his face. And if you look closely, there is a rough edge right there, just underneath the pupil of his right eye. It's as though they were trying to cut out the hole, but the cutting tool slipped and it cut the lower eyelid of Optimus. And as such, oh man, I don't know. There is a, I don't know if you can see it into the camera. See right there? He's got some eye bags. This one's actually pretty okay. Some jagged edges right there underneath, but this one, it's giving him a little bit of character, I suppose, but oh yeah, it was a cutting error, I think. But paint apps seem to be okay. Joints seem to be tight enough. This piece right here, yep, still loves to pop off. So far, so good. So we'll talk more about him when we bring both him and Megatron together. Here are his weapons. So does he come with everything? Yep, he comes with a useless pair of blasters. He comes with a very, very cool pair of blasters or smokestacks. He's got the Matrix, and he's got his Energon axe. Fits. Okay, so far so good. All right. Still a cool looking figure. Again, my biggest gripe is really the ratio, the squatness. I wish they could have extended the ab section by 0.5 centimeter or 1/4 centimeter. That would have made all the difference. The proportion would have been much better, but this is what we get. And here is the Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Megatron out of the box. And I can't believe I was wrong again about a figure. When it was first revealed, I really thought this was going to be a horrible figure. I thought the colors were going to be wrong. The plastic was going to be cheap. Everything about those photos that we've seen about this figure did not do justice to this figure. This figure is actually pretty good. I can't believe I'm saying this because I had completely dismissed this figure, did not pre-order it. When I saw it on the shelves at that 40th anniversary event, if you want to know what event I'm talking about, go check out the video on my channel. I thought the sculpt looks pretty good. The colors, the gray plastic I thought was way more yellow than this. It's actually more gray than beige. The camera is not picking it up more clear. We'll see it later, but this is not a terrible figure. I do apologize to the Hasbro designers for really slamming this figure way too early. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new Transformers 1 Studio Series Megatron. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 15 centimeters tall, or about 5 7/8 inches tall. And for comparisons, here he is with the Legacy Deluxe class Beachcomber, as well as the Voyager class Studio Series 86 Ironhide. And he's about the same height head to toe with this Ironhide figure. And I was shocked. I thought he'd be much smaller. This is the Netflix Earthrise Voyager Soundwave mold, which is also the Legacy United Leader class Soundwave, but this version is the Takara Tomy Dramatic Capture Series Nemesis Bridge Soundwave. Looking at these two together, I'm kind of hoping we get maybe some of the other Decepticons from the Transformers 1 movie, like Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave, maybe even some of the Autobots in the Studio Series format. And finally, the most important comparison of them all, we've got the Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe class Optimus Prime, and both these figures look amazing together. They will look amazing on your shelf. First thing I noticed is he does seem a little smaller than this figure, but if you measure them head to toe, they're about exactly the same height. Maybe because of his horns, he is 1 millimeter taller. So let's talk about the details of this figure. Let's talk about this sculpt. How sick is this? And the first thing I noticed was the color of the gray plastic. It did feel like it was yellowing with the promo pics, but when you have it in person, yeah, there's still that hint of beige, but it doesn't feel like it's yellowing. Not like this figure. This figure, you know, even from afar, you can see that it was intentionally made as though it was already starting to yellow. That's the kind of beige they chose. But for this gray plastic, I'm not getting that same vibe. I think it's a trick in the eye. There's an illusion created with the way the light reflects on this gray. It has a smidge of beige, but not yellowing gray tint. So I don't think those photos did this figure justice. Okay, and talking about that sculpt, it's a shame we don't get that Decepticon, that Megatronus sticker just or insignia just emblazoned on his chest. I'm sure we'll get another version of this figure with that Megatronus faction symbol. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to re-release this figure with that. The sculpt, again, fantastic. This head sculpt alone is enough to sell this figure. Look how gorgeous that head sculpt is. He's got this brightly painted eyes. You got a silver face. And incidentally, if you're looking through several on the pegs, he comes 3 per case of 8. So he's not short packed. There's like 3 Megatron figures in a case of 8 for this wave of Studio Series Deluxe class figures. First thing you want to check is the head sculpt. Make sure that the silver is painted evenly on his face and that there are no extra silver on his helmet, because I've seen others that had an extra smidge here, and worse, there was one figure that had splotches of silver dots here on one side of his face, which was just ridiculous. Okay, look at this chest. Fantastic sculpt. Look at that. Look how nicely they sculpted this chest. The shoulders, even the legs. The legs feel a little bit lanky, but that's not the fault of the designers. That's really how it was. That was a render and how he looked like, the animation render and how he looked like in the movie. So no fault to the designers with that. And they did the best they could with that lanky design. Look at that. They filled almost every gap, every nook and cranny. Has a little bit of sculpting on it. I love that. Okay, paint apps on the torso and on the entire body. You got some paint highlights here in the chest, the forearms, on the back. Look at that nice gunmetal metallic gray on the backpack. We'll talk about this backpack later. It's a little bit annoying for me. The gun molded in this really nice glossy gray plastic. I don't think it's painted. It has a metallic, maybe a little bit of flake to it. But I do love the quality of plastic they put with this figure. Last thing on the paint apps, if you're sifting again through several of the pegs, the other thing you need to worry about other than the head sculpt is the torso. Because here's where the problematic paint apps lie. First off, that black dot right there, those two black dots, make sure that they're evenly painted, that they're squarely painted, and none of the black paint is seeping or bleeding out of that circle, because some of them have like the black paint smudging here on the left and the bottom. So make sure that that circle is painted evenly. Next, you want to look at this side. This side is perfectly fine. There's very little quality issues I've seen here from other figures. But here, look at this. Unevenly painted, but that's okay. That's not the big issue there. I've seen figures that had scratching here, that had red paint like splotched all over the middle section of the abdomen, and the black unevenly painted. So this section right here and the head is what you need to look out for when you're sifting through several in the pegs for the paint apps. As far as plastic quality goes, they've got the same type of plastic quality. The Optimus Prime figure and this one, they use the same premium quality. Nothing cheap about it. They don't feel, you'd think at first glance they would be like the normal cheap craptastic plastic they use for Studio Series, but it's not. When you touch it, when you get it up close and personal, it's very solid. Very, very nice. It feels like a War for Cybertron trilogy figure or a Legacy figure. It does not feel like a Studio Series figure. Everything is premium, solid, well done, Hasbro. This is how you do it. I want to start speaking Filipino, but you guys know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, kaya nyo naman pala eh. Why don't you just do it? You guys can actually do a good product. Just give us this kind of quality every single time, and you're not going to hear any complaints from me. Okay, as far as, let's talk about accessories. He's got his fusion can right here. It is removable. The other way to store it is on the backpack. We'll do that later. It's in alt mode, but yeah. He's also got a secondary gun, which is actually the tip of the cannon in the barrel of the tank. And if you don't put this one here, you can actually store this other gun here. That's where it will store in alt mode. He also, this particular smaller weapon, you can put it right here if you want to, but this is how it looks like in tank mode, so you don't want to do that. You want to put it right here. The instructions tell you he can use, oh my bad, right here on his forearm. You can use it as a secondary weapon, and it is blast effect compatible. And he's got two other guns right here, and they do work as individual blasters. You can put it on his forearm like that, like a null ray type, or you can have him hold it. That. So either way, it works. These are additional weapons also in his tank mode. Let's talk about articulation. The neck is on a ball joint. He's got a waist swivel. Shoulders are on effectively ball joints. They go in and out, forward and backward 360. You've got a bicep swivel. He's got double hinged elbows, mostly because of transformation. The wrists are on swivels, again because of transformation. The hips are on ball joints. It feels like they're swivel hinges, but they're really ball joints. So you can have great range of swivel motion like this, in and out, kick forward, backward. He's got a thigh swivel, but the thigh swivel is actually pretty low. It feels like it's a knee swivel. And then you unpeg the knee, and you'll be able to hinge that knee slightly more than 90 degrees. The legs, they've got the rocker tilt and the up and down motion for the toes because of transformation. So transformation, you want to set all the weapons off to the side. We'll use them later. Let's begin with Optimus Prime. I know some of you have seen this, but for those who haven't, let's just go through the motions. Go ahead and do this. Transform. We can transform now. So cool. Okay, flip this up, out. All right, rotate and rotate these. Okay, tab. Okay, and then, it helps, it helps if you make that sound. I don't know anybody who doesn't make that sound every time they're playing with Transformers. I always do that. Okay, come on. down. All right. Fold the legs all the way up. Up like that. Fold that back in. Oh. And then that up. And the arms. Fists tab in. And there we have Optimus Prime, or Orion packs in his Cybertronian truck mode. Keep him this way if you like it. I think it looks cooler this way, but the official transformation is you point these things backward and you attach this thing. This thing is just so freaking annoying, connecting it here and there. You feel like you're gonna break it, but just to complete the transformation, this is the official look. Optimus Prime in his truck mode. He rolls very nicely. We'll set him off to the side. And now for the main course. Let's transform Megatron. He's a little bit involved. We'll try to show it off as best as possible. So lock in the knees. Okay. The instructions have a roundabout way of telling you how to transform things, but you know, I try to simplify things when I transform. Okay. So what do we want to do? You want to go ahead and rotate the elbows, rotate the wrists, and then just tab the arms backward, set them off like that to the side so they're out of the way. Do the same here, rotate, rotate, and then fold it back up, and then just tab it on the back of his, I guess, back of his arm or his triceps. So just leave it off like that. And then what you want to do is you want to fold the legs this way. Yep. Okay. And then this piece right here, going to fold all the way down and stay there. Then you want to rotate the thighs or the knees. Flip these up. These things are going to tab onto the chest, but don't tab them just yet. You want to rotate and fold out the feet. Flip these out. Rotate. You rotate them in any direction, this way or this way, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to fold down. Okay, and then the head, rotate 180, and then that slot right there is going to tab onto this peg right here. The backpack, this is probably the most annoying part of the transformation because instructions tell you to move it up and then swivel, and it just loves to pop off because it's a separate piece. It's on a 5mm peg. It is kind of annoying. Okay, and then what you want to do is unpeg here. Go ahead and fold that down, and then the arms are going to complete the rear section of the tank treads. Make sure you tab that piece right there, and it's gonna stay right there. And then finally, you can go ahead and collapse these panels. You're gonna hook them onto the toes. Do the same on the other side. Hook them onto the toes, and then you're gonna tab it onto the chest just to stabilize things. And then you're going to tab the arms onto those panels. It is a clearance issue. It's a little annoying. Would have been a perfect transformation. Could have measured it properly, but yeah. And this one really annoying. I wish they made it tighter, but okay. And essentially, this is the bare tank mode. Now, if you want to arm him, of course you want to arm him. You want to put his cannons. So the fusion cannon and the smaller gun, they are going to combine like the Star Saber. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead and plug it right here. And you can stop right here because this is how he looked like in the movie. And then he transforms. And he's like flying through the air and smashing everything. Okay. And then the instructions tell you to put the extra guns here on the sides of his legs, the leg panels. That works, actually. I mean, it's okay. Pretty cool. But I personally feel they will look much better here on the turret where they were stored, in robot mode. Robot mode, you remember, in the backpack, they get stored right over here. So a triple-barreled tank turret. I thought this was a pretty cool look. I think it looks better this way. If I do display him in tank mode, I'd probably do it this way. But if you want the official way of doing it, it's off to the side, which is fine, actually, because in the movie, He just had one barrel, one main cannon when he was in tank mode, and yeah, very, very cool. It goes up and down and rotates 360 if it doesn't pop off. Oh, I was about to say it doesn't pop off, but yep. So yeah, it is annoying. This is probably, it's minor nitpick, but that's probably the most annoying part of the transformation, and in alt mode. And in tank mode, I mean, look at these two. He looks great as a tank mode. The pictures did not do it justice. Absolutely not. They look horrible. His tank mode made him look like very flimsy alt mode, but it's actually very solid. I mean, sure, there's some gaps here and there, but it gives you that Cybertronian vibe. I love it. This part right here feels like an Earth mode, but everything else looks very Cybertronian. It's very solid once you tab everything in. I'm loving it. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I love this. This was the first, one of the things I hated about it when they first revealed him. I said the tank mode looks flimsy. It looks great. And again, you can put blast effects there. They can fight it out. So yeah, very cool. If you want to see how big they are compared to other figures, here is Deluxe Class Legacy Beachcomber once again. And like I said, he's a very, very hefty looking Deluxe Class figure, even in alt mode. Look at that. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Transformers 1 Megatron. My goodness, I did not expect this figure to look this great. The promo pics, and even when he was revealed, they did not do justice to this figure. The sculpt is amazing. The plastic is definitely not cheap. It is absolutely premium, solid, well sculpted, just an amazing figure all around. I love the transformation. I love the sculpt, the articulation. If at all, you know, I'm having trouble finding anything to complain about this figure, which is weird because I had no plans on getting this figure, and even if I did, I had this sort of little script in my head of how I was going to complain, and I was going to nitpick, and I was going to just point out all the flaws of this figure, and I find myself just absolutely adoring this figure, and to a certain extent even gushing over it, because there's very little to complain about this figure. I am shocked. If at all, my nitpicks would have to be that backpack that loves to pop off because, you know, the peg, when it's a separate piece and it's hooked onto a peg, when you swivel, it does love to pop off. Maybe the clearances of that flap behind his legs that form the tank. But other than that, I find very, very little to complain about this figure. This is an amazing figure. I'm going to go as far as say that I think it's even a better figure than this Optimus Prime figure, which is just unheard of. I would never say that about a Megatron figure, and I find myself liking this figure, enjoying it more than the Studio Series TF1 Optimus Prime. The figure is going to get a 9.5 out of 10. Just an amazing, amazing work. Just amazing outing and fantastic design. One of their best works for the Studio Series line. Now, having these two figures together, I think you can't have one over the other. If you're going to collect the Studio Series Transformers 1 figures, some people will say, I'm fine with Optimus Prime. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys are wrong. You cannot be further from the truth. You've got to pick up that Megatron. If you're into the movie, I don't know who isn't, and you love the Studio Series figures, you've got to pick up both these figures. These two are just amazing, amazing Studio Series figures. I still, to this day, cannot believe how great this Megatron turned out. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Studio Series from the movie Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Megatron, or D16. As well as the Studio Series Transformers 1 Deluxe Class Optimus Prime or Orion packs. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.